Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and in honor of St. Patrick's Day, I'm making my own version of corned beef and cabbage, just to mix things up. So I'm making corned beef flautas and cabbage curtido. If you don't know what that is, stick around because I think you're gonna like this Mexican/Salvadoran twist. First, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because that helps grow my channel, and let's get cooking. Clearly, corned beef flautas and cabbage curtido are far from Irish. Flautas are basically rolled tacos or taquitos, and curtido is a pickled slaw made with cabbage that's used to top all sorts of wonderful Salvadoran cuisine. But today, I feel I have the luck of the Irish, and this is going to be a wonderful combination. So here's what you're going to need. For the flautas, one 12-ounce can of corned beef, some corn tortillas, and some vegetable oil for frying. For the curtido, you'll need one head of cabbage, and this one's really ginormous, so I'm probably not going to use the whole thing, but we'll just see as we get to that. You'll need one carrot, a couple of jalapeños, and some red onion. You'll need some salt to taste, a couple of tablespoons of oregano, 1 cup of white vinegar, and 2 cups of water. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to begin with the curtido. I'm first going to get some hot water into a large pot and set it on the stove to boil. You don't need to measure, and you'll see why when we use it. Just fill it up and let it come to a boil. Goodness, this is so big. Now I'm going to start chopping up the vegetables. They've already been washed. I'm starting with the cabbage, and you'll want to cut it up as finely as possible. I'm using a knife, but you can even use a grater if you'd like. This is just easier for me. Once it's all finely shredded, I'm going to put it in a colander and then set it in the sink. And this is where that boiling water comes in. You just pour it all over the cabbage and have it drain directly out into the sink. We're not trying to cook the cabbage, we just want to blanch it. This will get it a little softer. Then immediately run it under the faucet with cold water so it doesn't continue to cook. And drain all the water out as best as you can. That's about as good as it gets for me, so I'm going to place the cabbage into a large bowl. Now I'll quickly peel the carrot and then grate it. I'll add it to the cabbage. Then I'll chop up the red onion. Here again, I'm just trying to slice as thin as possible. Whenever I've had curtido, the onion has been in circles, but I'm sure you can chop it up however you'd like. I'll add the onion to the bowl, separating it as I go. Next, I'll chop up the jalapeno. I like these in little circles as well. And because it's not much, I'm going to leave the seeds in. It won't be too hot. This is just enough to give it a little kick. I'll add that to the bowl as well. And now we can add our seasonings. I'm just eyeballing this. I'm probably using about a teaspoon of salt. But when it comes to the oregano, you definitely want more. Oregano is big in Salvadoran food, and Mexican food for that matter. But in curtido, it's one of the prominent flavors, so this is 2 heaping tablespoons. Now it's time to get everything all mixed together, and it's easiest if you use your hands, so I'll go ahead and put on gloves, especially since there's jalapenos in there. I wish you could smell this because it smells amazing. I think it's the red onion and the oregano. Wow. Once it's all mixed, I'm going to be using a large jar. If you don't have one, you can keep it in the bowl. Just know you'll need to cover it later. I'm going to add 2 cups of water into the jar and 1 cup of vinegar. I'll shake it a little to stir it up. Then I'll use some tongs to put in the cabbage slaw. Once it's all in, I'll put the lid on and shake it up. Curtido is always better the next day because it's had more time to get that pickled flavor. So if you can make it a day early, definitely do that. Of course, I'm having this today, so for now, I'm just gonna set it aside and I'm gonna start making the flautas. I haven't had corned beef like this in forever. Almost forgot how to open this. I'll be using corned beef from a can, which is going to make this so easy. I'll just put it into a bowl. Eventually, so much for easy. And then I'll break it up with a fork. Admittedly, it doesn't look good at this point, but trust me, it will taste good. Now I'll heat up the corn tortillas. Not only will this make rolling them a whole lot easier, if you don't heat them, the tortillas will crack open and you don't want that. As you can see, I'm doing this on a comal, but you can do this on any kind of skillet. You can even heat them in the microwave. Just make sure they stay warm. Now, one at a time, I'm going to take a tortilla and spoon in a little corned beef along one of the sides. Then I'm going to roll it up and continue doing the same with the other tortillas until I run out of the corned beef. You should be able to make about a dozen with the 1 can of corned beef. Now, sometimes when you go to fry them, they don't hold together and they tend to fall apart. So a little trick for that is you can take a toothpick and just run it through, kind of like a needle through fabric, and it'll hold during the frying. Just remember to take out the toothpick when you go to eat it, but you can see right there, that should work. Once the flautas are all rolled, pour some vegetable oil into a frying pan and place it on your stovetop over medium-high heat. And when it's hot, carefully drop in your flautas one at a time and let them fry until golden on all sides. By the way, if you have an air fryer, maybe you could try this recipe using that. I don't have one, so it's the old-fashioned way for me. When I take them out of the frying pan, I place them onto some paper towels so the excess oil can drain off, and that's basically it. I've got my corned beef flautas and cabbage curtido all ready to go, and I can hardly wait to try this. Of course, you can top this with sour cream and salsa, but I'm just gonna eat it like this. It's really good. You know, it's surprising how well corned beef works in a flauta. This is really delicious. And the curtido adds all this freshness and flavor. It's just wonderful. This really is corned beef and cabbage unlike anything you've ever had before. And just a really fun twist on St. Patrick's Day. I hope you try it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I post one new recipe every week at Marcy Inspired. So be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and click that notification bell. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.